do this thing. Welcome to KSAT News Now, our bite-sized streaming newscast. It's a little bit of a meteorologist's takeover today.
Yeah, we kind of hijacked KNN for good reason, though.
Yes.
Because we've got a big cold front headed our way, and it's kind of all the talk here in the newsroom and everywhere else across San Antonio.
And I mean, we've been talking about it for the past week at least. You know, we knew that we had a really cold outlook when it came to the days really leading up to and into the Christmas holiday. And today is the big day.
It's finally
the
here.
Highly advertised cold front is honestly just off to our north. It's going to be making its way into our area here over the next couple hours.
Am I excited?
Fun fact about Justin, he does not like cold weather at all.
Cold weather.
And I mean, like, I really like cold weather, but even I think what we're going to see over the next couple of days is a little too cold out there.
I agree with you.
So
let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's kind of get you all the latest details into what we're looking at. So you can see where the front is. I mean, already, right? Temperatures are dropping fast behind this Arctic front.
And I think what we should note here is that we follow the computer models pretty closely. These numbers are a little bit below that.
Yep.
So this cold front is overperforming.
It's packing a punch.
Yeah, so you see the numbers. 2 in Amarillo. It was -1 there earlier, so there's some improvement.
That's good news.
-23 is what it feels like, and these wind chills are kind of the big number, Mia.
Absolutely, and that's one thing that we really are going to note already up in the Panhandle. I mean, I was watching wind gusts earlier today, and they've already seen 40, 45 mile per hour wind gusts. So we know that that wind is quickly allowing that cold air to surge southward, and we can expect that wind to really pick up here locally as it moves in here over the next few hours. So cold front still has not arrived here across our area. You can see, though, just above this banner, that blue color, that's where it is already moving southward.
I mean, Fredericksburg, it's got to be
knocking
like
on your front door
at this point. That number, I think by noontime, will rapidly change. So will Kerrville. As far as timing for San Antonio, we're still thinking noon to 1 o'clock.
Yeah, pretty much that lunchtime, midday hour is when we're really expecting to see those temperatures drop pretty quickly. But yeah, at least here around Bexar County and the majority of the area, it was a chilly start, absolutely. This morning I was driving around downtown getting into work and I saw folks outside running.
Yeah.
Probably the last morning run that they're going to get in for.
Well, it's all relative, right? So it was chilly, but then I'm thinking, well, this is balmy compared to what we're going to see this afternoon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right now, wind's not too bad, but as we were mentioning, behind that front, we've already seen gusts upwards of about 40 to even 45 miles per hour at times.
And so I wrapped my sago palm yesterday, and I've got a thin wrap around it, but I tied that sucker down. I mean, I wrapped rope. I had rocks because those things will blow off, and then you have no protection for your plants,
right.
And then you got stuff all over the neighborhood. So if you are wrapping your plants, this is something to keep in mind. Also, the Christmas decorations, some of those could go flying.
Exactly.
The
inflatable Santas.
Deflate them.
Yeah.
And then either bring them inside or at least make sure they're very well secured.
Yeah, we need to make sure those are secure. And that's one thing. I mean, of course, we've been talking about it over the past several days, all of the freeze preparations too. I mean, it is 11 a.m. I mean, the cold front's almost here, so hopefully you've kind of been heating that, getting all your freeze preps done, because yeah, things are about to go downhill pretty quickly when it comes to our temperatures. Because as we already have seen behind that front to our north, I mean, those temperatures are falling fast.
So fast, and when you see wind chills in the single digits in San Antonio, that's we think back to 2021. I think immediately that's where all our minds go, and a lot of people have horrible memories from 2021, understandably, and we've pointed out some notable differences. But you're also right in the sense that that's the kind of cold we're going to see. The difference, I think, really is the duration. This will not be as long. We're going to get sun in the afternoon, and it's just a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
In the sense that we got down to 9 that morning. Now we're talking like 18, and while that may not seem like a big difference, it does make a big difference when it comes to pipes and stuff.
And of course, we're not expecting widespread ice or anything like that from what we also saw back in February of 2021, kind of multiple rounds of that too, which definitely didn't help with any of that.
But we're still recommending that you cover some of those exposed pipes.
Yes.
It really depends on the
spigots.
age of your home. Some of the newer homes are fine. The pipes can withstand expansion and stuff like that. But if you have maybe an older home and you have exposed pipes, spigots, those are stuff that you want to watch for. And then open the cabinets, can't hurt.
Let that kind of central heat, let it kind of float there under those cabinets for sure.
And if you are concerned, drip the faucet.
Yeah, especially on sinks and stuff that are attached to exterior walls. I've seen also that that's a really good tip there too.
Yep.
Especially just tonight, because you can see here, this is through the overnight. So really by 5 p.m. here in San Antonio, I mean, we're already pretty much at freezing. That's how quickly these temperatures are dropping.
And I think a really interesting aspect to this is typically to get down to 18 in San Antonio, we would need clear skies, calm winds. You get that perfect radiational cooling. That is not the case. The air is so cold that even with the wind stirring things up, but what happens is when you get gusty winds, it stirs the atmosphere up and it typically is a little bit warmer. But in this case, this air mass is so cold that even with gusty winds, we're down to 18. So then the wind chill is just stupid cold.
Yes, exactly. So tomorrow morning, I mean, waking up to single-digit wind chills, that's going to be incredibly cold here across South Central Texas. So you can see here this really cool, the cloud feature that we've got moving in. As we see this front kind of surging southward, we've got some cool cloud formations that are honestly already the leading edge of the clouds. Are now kind of approaching the Bexar County area this hour.
And it's going to look ominous when you see it. You're going to think, oh man, what is happening? This is a classic blue northern. It's an older term, but we still use it around here in Texas. And you'll be able to see it coming in cloud cover wise. And you get these little ripples. It's turbulence within these frontal boundaries. But that is the front itself. And the cold air, it's still back up here around Fredericksburg, but out ahead of the front, you're getting some of this action with the clouds.
Exactly. But one thing to also note, we don't have anything on the radar right now.
We do not.
Right? And for the most part, we're not expecting that here in South Central Texas. I will say earlier this morning near the Abilene area, even in North Texas, north of I-20, there were some flurries that were able to survive kind of down here to the surface.
You're right. We can see it on TransGuide. That doesn't mean we're going to get it down here. Those things are kind of hard to detect, but there was some of that going on, and these winter systems have a way of just squeezing out
every last little bit of moisture in the atmosphere.
But it's not something we're concerned about here.
Right. And even up there, National Weather Service was noting that where there even was some flurries reported, there were no issues with travel or anything like that. So that is the good news. I will say though, where there are some travel issues, not here across the Lone Star State, but really to the north and the east. This is that parent area of low pressure that's been dragging that front across a good portion of the lower 48. I mean, the Front Range, the plains, into the upper Midwest as well. Ahead of that front, closer to the mid-Atlantic, of course, there's some rain, but really where that cold air is already making its way to the southeast. Got some snow out that way, approaching the Great Lakes, of course, and that's where we'll find some travel issues.
Yeah, O'Hare, that's a big hub. Chicago, some blizzard-like conditions there today. So it's the domino effect. Even if it's not weathering here as far as precipitation goes, any of those big airports that get affected, it can affect all the airports.
Yes, but good news if you're staying here in South Central Texas for the holidays, or really just even across the majority of the state. We're not. It'll be windy for sure for some of those high-profile vehicles maybe driving, but other than that,
just find a good Hallmark movie tonight.
There you go. Cup of hot cocoa, apple cider.
Living the dream.
Kick your feet up. Sounds like a good plan. But yeah, so you can see temperatures ahead of that front. Gee, I wonder where the front is.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. Temperatures ahead of that front in the 40s, couple upper 30s, a few low 50s. But yeah, behind it, Bismarck, North Dakota, minus 14 degrees.
We were watching Casper this morning. The wind chill, I think at one point was like negative, I want to say like negative 40 something. It's just.
I can't even imagine, honestly. That's a lot. But yeah, all that pink there is just that Arctic air that is surging southward. Of course, temperatures aren't going to get that cold here in San Antonio, but it is going to be very, very cold out there tomorrow morning. A hard freeze is expected for pretty much all of our area. We're going to dip down into the teens and even across the hill country, some lower teens certainly possible. And of course, with that wind, it's going to feel like the single digits here in Bexar County tomorrow morning.
And I feel like the city is prepared for this. We have warming centers available for anyone who's out and about, and there you can see it there on your screen. Several around the city. So anyone who doesn't have shelter needs to get warm. This is where you want to go because honestly, with these kind of wind chills, we're not built for this. A lot of people who live here aren't used to that, and it can get dangerous.
Yeah.
So we got to think about that.
And the centers do open at 3 o'clock today. Locations include Norm Moyle Community Center, Southside Lions Senior Center, the Garza Community Center, Christ the King Lutheran Church in Universal City, ESD 5 in Somerset, ESD 3 on Bulverde Road, and ESD 7 on Galm Road. Of course, if you want to reference back to where these centers are, you can find all of that and those locations listed on KSAT.com. So,
yeah,
good.
And if you need help getting to one, VIA is offering free bus rides to and from any of these locations. All you got to do is tell the bus operator when boarding or let them know when booking a reservation for VIA Link and VIA Trans. To request a trip to a warming center, call 311.
And if you have pets, of course, we need to bring the pets inside, need to bring the potted plants.
Yes.
Justin was talking earlier about wrapping sensitive vegetation, not just for the cold, but for the wind too. If you do have pets, something to consider, kennels are available at the Normal Oil, Southside Lions, and Garza Centers. So of course, we have all that information as well up at KSAT.com. But good things to kind of think about, especially now that this cold front is literally knocking on our front door.
Whew, it's gonna be a shock to the system when it moves through.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was talking about, especially when it comes to plants and stuff like that, we have not got below freezing at the airport yet this year.
Right. We got close, 34 on Sunday.
Right, we got close.
Yeah.
And usually we ease into it. Like we have a morning where maybe it's 28 or it's 30, and the plants are like, okay, some of them can deal, some can't. But when you just go straight from no freeze to 18,
right,
you're going to see a lot of plants that they go every winter and come back.
Poor plants.
That's going to be the end of that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. A lot of questions also. What does the holiday weekend look like for us, right? What is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? Here's the good thing. See all that sunshine? That's good for our afternoon temperatures, especially, Justin.
Yes. Yeah, the mornings will be cold.
Yeah.
And Santa will feel super happy. It's like the North Pole when he's coming through San Antonio.
Absolutely.
No big deal. Somebody's delivering presents, it'll be cold. He's prepared for that sort of thing. But by the afternoon, let's say Santa brings you a new bike. Be good weather for being out and about and riding the bike around. Just have a coat.
Absolutely.
But it's not going to be bitter cold.
Absolutely, yeah. So mornings definitely, we've got hard freezes, but yeah, into the afternoons. By Christmas Eve, we're up near 40 here in town, up near 50 already on Sunday. So not bad there
at all.
And then, we've got our kind of 7-day forecast here. You can see as we head into the beginning of next week, maybe another freeze Monday morning. But we've still got more sunshine, and then a gradual warming trend is going to take us into the middle of next week.
Yeah, it'll be actually above average, we think, by the middle part of next week.
Yeah.
So things change pretty rapidly after this. We've got about 3 days of this bitter cold that we got to contend with. And one other thing I wanted to mention, real quick, let's do this. Weather Authority, download the app. We'll give you updates throughout the day. You can scan it there, the QR code. And then you and Adam are planning on going live on the app to talk about the front as it comes through, and will bring us updates.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're planning on going live at about 1:30. Of course, by that time, the front will be making its way through Bexar County at that point. But just to kind of get an idea at current conditions, what's going on, how quickly those temperatures are falling, we'll have another look, of course, at what we can expect for evening plans, wind chills tonight, wind chills tomorrow morning, and all of that on the Appcast. So that's kind of going to be a great real-time resource to monitor really just how quickly these temperatures are falling.
This is what I love. Technology is advancing, right?
Yes.
So people want weather when they want it. They don't want, sometimes there'll be a lot of people tuning in for the noon show to see you deliver your forecast. But if they can't,
there you
we
go.
got you covered on the
Weather
app.
on
You can
demand.
join us there. So we'll be there for you, and that's what we update the forecast. The meteorologists ourselves go in and alter the numbers. So we get the temperatures as best we possibly can in the forecast, and that's why we love the KSAT weather.
It is definitely tailor-made, yes.
One other thing I wanted to mention. The police department is asking people to turn off their sprinklers.
Yes.
Another thing to keep in mind, we don't want skating rinks. If for some reason your sprinklers are on and then temperatures freeze, get slick spots in the road. We don't want any of that, especially businesses. So something else to remember.
No, that's great. All great advice to kind of go along with the freeze preps and things like that we've been talking about. But yeah, just bundle up, especially if you're heading out maybe now really quickly to do something before the cold front moves in. Take the puffy coat, just because, we were telling that for people that still have to work today. Left this morning, yes, it was chilly, but by the time you were getting off work and you were headed home, it is going to be a different kind of cold.
There's no doubt about it.
So.
And you want to circle back real quick and we'll show the temperatures one more time just to get
let's go back.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Peeling back the curtains.
We got it.
Going backwards.
All right, almost there.
No worries. I just want to look at the temperatures one more time because
there we go.
These are changing Probably the second in some cases, but 51 Junction, 56 Fredericksburg still. So still waiting on that front.
Yeah, it's right there though. It's right there.
It's on our doorstep. So anyway, tune in 1:30 on the KSAT weather. Tune in at noon.
At noon.
Me on KSAT 12, and we'll keep you posted.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining us here this morning to kind of get you the latest looks at what we're monitoring throughout the rest of the day, leading up to and through the holiday weekend. Stay warm out there, and we'll catch you guys later. Thanks for joining us.